Chapter 5. Snoopy on Ice. Kim had the body of a character actress, but had the voice of a leading lady. Her voice was raspy in a sexy way and projected effortlessly. She had piercing green eyes that she accentuated with eyeliner, and she could command attention with just a simple glance. She wasn't blonde and stick-thin, but she could outperform 99 out of 100 of those cookie-cutter ingenues that mobbed every audition. They all blended together where Kim stood out. The fact that she was a performer in the first place was a miracle. Performing meant being vulnerable, and Kim was not at all okay being vulnerable. But somehow, when she performed, she could channel it. She opened up in a way that captivated people. They couldn't take their eyes off her. The audition was in Chicago, and the place was wall-to-wall blondes, a sea of tossed bangs, sports bras, and bright leggings. Kim got her number and sat off to the side. The paperwork listed all the different theme parks and what shows they needed to cast. She did the dance routine with her group and sang her 16 measures, and she did it well, but didn't have a good feeling. Theme parks wanted cheese and flash, not substance, so she was shocked when she got called into one of the small rooms for a follow-up. "I see from your resume that you are a skater," the woman smiled. Yes, I figure skated competitively for almost 7 years, Kim answered. "That's a skill not many young ladies have," the woman replied. It was Snoopy on Ice, one of the premier shows at Knott's Berry Farm in Los Angeles. It was an equity job, and they provided housing at the park. As Kim listened to the details, she felt her hopes rising and quickly pulled them in tight. She was not going to open herself up to disappointment. But they called the next day and officially offered her a job. She spent the drive to the West Coast on edge, a woman out alone, checking into hotels, just her on vast empty roads. She put her hair up under a baseball cap and wore an oversized sweatshirt, but she still felt vulnerable every single second. Things didn't improve the morning she got there. She crept her car through tiny alleys and found an isolated spot. Then she dragged her suitcase behind the tiny white houses. They were stacked together almost like horse stables. As she headed down the road that her place was on, 3 guys were sitting out on a small porch. They didn't say anything or wave, but she could feel their eyes on her as she went by. She got to her place, climbed the steps, and knocked on the door. The place was tiny, beyond tiny, and there were already 3 girls living there, all skinny, all blonde. They had claimed the 3 beds in the bedroom. Kim had the fold-out couch that took up 3/4 of the living room. None of the 3 girls offered to help her get the rest of the stuff from her car. Sleep was long in coming. She felt open to the world. In the living room, with just thin plywood walls to protect her, not even a bedroom door to shut. It was warm, but she pulled the sheets around herself, closed her eyes tightly, and eventually nodded off. Rehearsals took over the next 2 weeks, and Kim thrived. She'd twirl her arms and snap her head and flash her eyes, and it was obvious to everyone how she stood out. The choreographer continually called her out as the example to her castmates, and before she knew it, the show was live. She did it 4 times a day, Tuesday through Friday, and 6 times on the weekends. She could feel audiences love her, feel them respond, hear how they laughed and how they cheered. After each show, little girls would line up with their parents to meet her and tell her she was pretty. They would ask for photos with her and get her autograph. Back at the house, Kim bought a stackable storage crate and set up a space for her things. She kept it neat and orderly, and in some strange way, it felt like a wall she'd put up to protect her from her housemates, from the guys down the way, from the whole world. She started going to open calls. She put on her eyeliner, teased out her hair, and came in fierce. There, among 200 girls, she was like a raven among a flock of doves. She'd feel their eyes on her and feel their discomfort from having her in their midst. And while most of the time she didn't get callbacks, sometimes she did. Sometimes they'd bring her in and remark that she was different than what they'd expected, but still interesting. It didn't go further than that, not yet, but it would. Artists feel it more intensely, but all people experience periods of doubt, bleak, solitary moments when the very weight of existence crowds in like dry rot and everything, all of it feels meaningless and futile. What is the point? What does it matter? Success feels not only impossible, but worse, it feels pointless. But then there are times when success feels utterly inevitable. Times when you are on a golden journey. You are the silver surfer blasting forward through raw space and time, and nothing, literally nothing, can stop you. Achieving the goal is one thing, but the moment you know you will achieve it is transcendence itself. As the auditions came, as the audiences cheered, as the little girls lined up after each show, Kim felt her own inevitability. She would succeed. These droves of blondes would come and go, flare and fade, but they were irrelevant to Kim's inevitable success. The traction was building a momentum steadier, stronger. In those moments, in that aura, nothing could touch her. She started occasionally joining her housemates to go hang out with the guys down the way. One of the guys ran the lights for her show, so they would chat a little. Rob was the all-alpha male of the house. He was the lead in the park musical review. He was tall, with feathered hair. They talked a little, but not much. He was loud and liked attention, so she didn't give it to him. There was a whole group of guys and girls from the shows, and Kim's housemates were in a constant game of cat and mouse, flirting and hooking up. Kim stayed out of that altogether. But then one night, as she was leaving a small gathering, she came outside to find Rob alone on the porch. He asked her a question about her show. She answered, and they ended up talking for almost an hour. Away from the cluster of girls, he felt different, tolerable, vulnerable even. Then, to her incredible surprise, he called her. She came back to the house and found her housemates excited and playfully teasing about the message he'd left on the answering machine. They played it 4 times, cheering her aloud. She returned his call, and he asked if he could make her dinner. Her housemates made her try on 4 outfits, loaned her earrings, tried different lipstick colors from all of their collections. Kim started to feel actual closeness with them, and for once she didn't pull herself back. With jeers and warmth, they sent her off. Dinner felt like a totally different Rob than the preening frat boy she'd always known. It was more like the Rob from that conversation on the porch, with the smell of the cooling pavement and the California night around them. He'd convinced his roommates to leave and rearrange the place so the kitchen table was in the center of the room. He'd put a sheet over it as a tablecloth and had a candle in the center. He pulled out her chair. He'd made pasta with garlic bread and served wine, pretending to be a French waiter. Over dinner, he asked her all about roles she'd had in college and how she'd approached them. He asked her about when she figure skated and why she'd quit that. He even called her out for being standoffish toward him and confessed that until that night on the porch, he thought she hated him. He seemed so vulnerable when he admitted that. They were both laughing and smiling, and 2 hours went by in what felt like minutes. They'd finished eating long ago, but kept right on talking, and Kim heard that voice in her head warn her not to leave herself open. But this time, she ignored it. It was so much work never being vulnerable. It was exhausting to keep her guard up every single minute of every single day. It's how she'd learned to survive, but it was so wearing. After all, if she never let anyone in, how would she ever grow as a person? Kim came back to her place the next night, humming a tune from her show. She could barely wait to get home to see if there was a message on the machine. The guy who did lights for her show, Rob's housemate, had given her a sly smile that day, so she thought Rob had probably talked about their dinner date. One of her housemates, Mandy, was at the kitchen table, and she popped up as soon as Kim opened the door. Kim had a feeling that Mandy had been waiting for her. "What's up?" Kim asked. Mandy looked nervous and kept straightening it down the front of her skirt. "Kim, honey, what's going on?" Kim asked, as the creeping fear raced over her like an army of ants. Mandy took a deep breath and spoke with her eyes closed. "Your date the other night, you hooked up, right?" "Yes." Oh, honey, it's bad. Just say it. He had a video camera hidden in the closet. He recorded the whole thing. You two, and they've been watching it. Oh, sweetie, he's such a fuck.
Half empty, half full. I spilled all my hopes, but still feel the pull. It seems that I lost my place, but this won't be my last chance to fall on my face. Hey now, listen here. Well, I have one complaint. I'm the only one that never learned how to be a saint. I don't know what I'm talking about, what I have, what I have, and what I'll get. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know that I've been here before, and I'll be here again. Aging souvenirs of what I thought I would be after all these years. Could my life be more cliche? Here I am living in sin on All Saints' Day. Hey now, listen here. Well, I have one complaint. I'm the only one that never learned how to be a saint. I don't know what I'm thinking about, what I had, what I have, and what I'll get. I don't know what I'm thinking about, but I know that I've been here before, and I'll be here again. I'm gonna put my foot down, gonna draw the line. I have my reasons. I'm gonna put my foot down, gonna draw the line. I have my reasons. I'm gonna put my foot down, gonna draw the line. I have my reasons. I'm gonna put my foot down, gonna draw the line. I have my reasons. Well, I'm gonna put my foot down, gonna draw the line. I have my reasons. Well, I'm gonna put my foot down, gonna draw the line. I have my reasons. Yeah, yeah. Oh, heart.